This video is over the area of triangles. Let's look at our number routine. Write and solve an equation to find the height of the parallelogram. So let's look at this. Well, I know the formula is A equals BH, which really means area equals base times height. So let's look at this. The height, we don't know this, but we do know what the area is, and we do know what the base is. So see, so the area is 48, so I substitute or replace the area of 48. The base is 11 plus 5, because the base is the whole thing. Not just 11, is 11 and 5 is 16. We don't know the height. Again, how do you solve an equation? We need to isolate the variable x, h. To isolate this variable h, we need to do the inverse operation. What's the inverse of multiply? Divide. We balance it on the other side. This cancel. So 48 divided by 16 is 3. Height equals 3 meters. And to check our work, the 16 times 3 is 48 square meters. All right, so let's look at our next one. You are going to be given another sticky note. You will measure the base, length in inches. This is 3 inches. Then you will measure the height, length in inches, which is 3 inches. This is a square, as you can tell. What is the area of this? Again, area of a rectangular polygon is base times height. 3 times 3 is 9 squared inches. Now, I would like you to cut that square diagonally, like this way. So you had this original square, you're cutting it diagonally. Measure the base length in inches again, 3 inches. Measure the height, 3 inches. So what do you think the area will be? Well, let's think about it. I cut the square in half. So I believe the area will be half of the original starting polygon, which was a square. So I predict that the area of this triangle would be 4 5/10 inches square, 4.5 inches squared. So the area of a triangle, this area of a triangle is literally half the area of a rectangle. So what we're going to find out, the formula is half of the area of a rectangle, or base times height. So half, or base times height, divided by 2. So here is the area of a triangle. So if you know the area of a rectangle parallelogram, area of a triangle is just half of that amount. So let's look at our do now. Joseph is painting the flag of Brunei, a country in Southeast Asia. I believe it's connected to Indonesia. For a geography project at school, write and solve an equation to find the square inches he will cover with white paint. So this is white paint. This is the shape of a parallelogram. So the base of this is 72 inches. The height of the white paint is 8 inches. So if I multiply 72 by 8, 576 squared inches. It will be the area of the white paint. So an area of triangle is half of the base times height. When you do half of something, it's not like saying divide by 2. Yes, so you could do base times height divided by 2. So let's do an example. This is a triangle. The base length is 10 feet. What is the height length? 5 feet. To find the area, you do half of the base times height. So the base is 10. The height is 5. So half of 50 is 25 square feet. To find the area, or if you don't like that way, you could do it this way. Base times height, then you divide by 2. So I multiply the base of 10, the height of 5, then I'll divide 2. So 50 divided by 2 is 25. Which method do you prefer? Is your personal option. Do you like doing multiply base times height, do half of it, or you rather do base times height divided by 2? So next one, what is the base length of this triangle? 20 inches. What is the height of this triangle? 14 inches. To get the area, you do half of base times height. So A equal half base times height. So half, the base is 20, the height is 14. So what's half of 20? 10. And what is 10 times 14? 140 squared inches. Or maybe you prefer to do base times height as 20 times 14. The base is 20, the height is 14. Then you divide by 2. 20 times 14 is 280. Divide by 2 is 140 squared inches. What do you think is easier to do? Would you rather just do half of the base times height or base times height divided by 2? Again, it's your personal option. Write and solve an equation to find the area of the triangle. So, to find the area of the triangle is half of base times height. If I flip this around, what would the base be? The base would be 15. The height would be 9 and 1/5. So, what would you like to do? Would you first like to multiply? Many ways to do. You can multiply the base and the height, then divide by 2. So you know what? I'm going to multiply. I'm going to turn all these into improper fractions. So 1/2 times 15 1 times 9 and 1/5 is 47/5. If I multiply 2 times 1 times 5, I get 10. If I multiply 1 times 15 times 47, 15 times 47, that's 35 carried to 3, that's 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 20 carried to 2, that's 4 plus 2 is 6. I got 705. And 705 divided by 10 would be 70 and 5/10 squared centimeters. Let me just make sure I did this correctly because I maybe have made some mistakes. So 10, yep, 15 times 47, 15, that's 35 carry 3, 7, 10, carry 1, yep, 20 carry 2, 1, 6, 5, 0, yep, it's good. And next one, the area of the triangle is 160. So the area of this entire triangle is 165 square units. If the base is 11, what is the height? Again, when you measure the height of a triangle, it's the one that's standing vertical, straight up. These are junk information. Write and solve an equation, determine the thing. So half of base times area equals half of base times height. So area is 165, half, the base is 11, and the height we just don't know. So 165 was half of 11. That would be 5.5 or 5.5 height. So again, to solve this equation, we need to isolate h. What is the inverse of multiply? It is divide. So we divide 5 and 5/10 from both sides. So if we divide, again, do you like dividing by decimals? I don't know about you, but I personally don't. So I'm going to move this decimal one over. It becomes 55. So I move this one over. So that's 1,650 divided by 55. Can 55 go into 1? 0 times. Can 55 go into 16? 0 times. Can 55 go in 165? It goes in, I think, 3 times perfectly. Yes, it does. And can 55 go 0? So 30. So the height is 30. To check your work, if you multiply 30 by 11, then divide by 2, or half, you'll get 165. And let's look at our last example. The area of this triangle is 112 units squared. If the height is 8, what is the base? So A equal half base times height. So I replace the area with 112. The base is, I don't know. The height is 8. So what's half of base and half of 8? That would be 4 base. Again, to do the inverse, to isolate base, you have to do the inverse of multiply with divide. So 112 divided by 4 is 32. How many 4s go in 32? 8 times. So the base is 28 units. So what we just did is you are given the base, you're given the height. If you multiply those two, then find half of it, divide by 2, you'll be able to find the area of a triangle. So area of triangle equal half times base times height.